Okay, hello everyone. I'm Kazunobu Matsuda at Bukkyo University in Kyoto, Japan. First, I would like to express my thanks to my dear friend Bhikkhu Pratanyo in DCIBS Institute for inviting me to today's lecture. My lecture in this morning will deal with Buddhist Sanskrit manuscript recently discovered in Afghanistan and Pakistan, which I am in charge of. I intend to present a general outline on these manuscripts. After that, among these newly discovered manuscripts, I will pick up the Dilga Agama manuscripts discovered in Gilgit of Pakistan. And I will introduce you how to get the Dilga Agama manuscript and the sutra structure of the Dilga Agama comparing with Pali Digha Nikaya. I am not an English native speaker, so I'm afraid you may find listening to my English to be more challenging than reading the Sanskrit manuscript. But please bear with me. If you have any questions, please tell in Thai. I hope Pratanyo will interpret your question to me in Japanese. Thank you. Okay. Since mid-1990s, a great amount of Buddhist manuscripts written in Indic languages have been discovered from Central Asia in Bāmiyān Valley in Afghanistan, the Gandhara area across Afghanistan and Pakistan, and Gilgit area in Pakistan. These are Buddhist documents written in either Gandhari or Sanskrit on palm leaves, birch barks, or animal leathers. The scripts used in these manuscripts are of various kinds, ranging from Kharoshthi script dating back up to the 1st century BC to Gilgit Bāmiyān type 2 of the 8th century CE. In this presentation, I will present an overview of the recently discovered Buddhist manuscript, especially on the Bāmiyān manuscript, of which research project team I have been joining as a co-editor. First, Bāmiyān manuscript. First, please have a look at the front screen. This is a newspaper article on the top page of the Asahi newspaper in September 5th, 2003. The Asahi newspaper is one of the most popular national newspapers in Japan. This article reports a new discovery in Bāmiyān Valley, Afghanistan. Early August of this year, Japanese archaeologist team has discovered approximately 30 small Buddhist Sanskrit manuscript fragments in Bāmiyān cave. If you know Japanese, you will find my name on this newspaper article. Just a month ago, a member of that excavation team has sent me the photographs of the fragments and asked me to read them for announcing at a press conference. These are birch bark fragments, and judging from the script Gilgit Bāmiyān Type 1, dated back to the early 7th century AD, and these are part of Abhidharma text. Newspaper article says this is a big news, but in my opinion, this is important news in only one sense, that is a professional scholar directly discovered them from the ground of Bāmiyān cave. However, the discovery itself was only a tip of an iceberg. During the early 1990s, many informal and illegal excavations were made by local people. A huge cache of Buddhist manuscripts written in various kinds of Indic script were discovered from ruins of a stone monastery in the Zargaran district located in the eastern part of the Bāmiyān Valley. The manuscript discovered spanned a range of several centuries and comprised Buddhist documents in Gandhari or Sanskrit, transcribed on palm leaves, birch barks, and animal leathers. The entire cache amounted to more than 10,000 itself if we count even the smallest fragments. While these documents of several lines or more, which would contribute to Buddhist research, amount up to 2,000 items. These manuscript fragments were sent to European market and mainly sold to the collector, Mr. Martin Skoyen, in Oslo, Norway. Early 1997, in order to study Martin Skoyen's collection, an international project group was organized. We have already published 4 big volumes on the result of our research in collaboration with many other scholars. On the screen, there are 3, volume 1 to 3. This is volume 4. It's published early of this year. Okay. We have already published 4 big volumes in the result of our research in collaboration with many other scholars. And this is Mr. Martin Skoyen in Oslo. He's a famous businessman in Norway. This is his Martin Skoyen's private villa in Spikkestad near Oslo, and this and this his collection rooms in Spikkestad. People on the photograph, they are my co-researchers from left. Professor Paul Harrison of Stanford University, Professor Jens Brobrick of Oslo University, Professor Jens V. Hartmann and of München University, and Dr. Gudrun Metzler of München University. Among the discovered manuscripts included in the Skoyen collection, the oldest stratum, judging from their paleographical style, dated back to the 3rd century AD, and includes this is the Mahayana Buhadara Kalpika Sutra, and the Bodhisattva Pitaka Sutra, both in Gandhari language, written in Kharoshthi script on palm leaves. We have to read this Kharoshthi script from left to right, right to left. Yes. And this is famous Ashta Sahasrika Prajna Paramita Sutra in Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit, written in Kharoshthi Brahmi script. Yes, this is Ashta Sahasrika Prajna Paramita. And This is Shri Mara Devi Sinhanada Nirudesha Sutra in Sanskrit, written in Gupta Brahmi script. And this is Raja Skabati Vyuha, and this is Vajrachedika Prajna Paramita in Gilgit Bāmiyān type 1 script, which is the 6th to 7th century variations of Gupta Brahmi script. And a great deal of them contains astounding finds with regard to the contents and date. Even for Buddhists in Japan, the existence of a Sanskrit fragment of Shri Mara Devi Sinhanada Nirudesha Sutra and that of the 6th century Sanskrit fragment of the Raja Skabati Vyuha. This is Skabati Vyuha, Shri Mara Devi Nirudesha Sutra, which only post 12th I'm sorry. Skabati Vyuha, which only post 12th century Nepalese manuscripts were formally known, and are important literary discovery that cannot fail to impress the research-oriented scholars. Among these finds of the Buddhadhara Kalpika Sutra and the Bodhisattva Pitaka Sutra mark the first for Mahayana Buddhist canon manuscript inscribed in Gandhari language, providing concrete evidence to support the view of that the early Mahayana Buddhist canon was written in Gandhari language, and a theory that Buddhist researchers have long asserted but could never prove. Of course, apart from these Mahayana Sutra items, Bāmiyān manuscripts contain canonical scriptures such as this is Mahaparinirvana Sutra in Pali, Mahaparinirvana Stanta in Kharoshthi script and in Gandhari language. This is Itibritika in Pali, Itibuttaka in Sanskrit. Furthermore, this is Vinaya, Mahasangika Vinaya, and this is Abhidharma text, the fragment of Sangiti Pariyaya of Sarvastivadi Buddhist order. Furthermore, I would like to show you two samples of leather manuscript fragments written in Gupta Brahmi script. This item is not palm leaf. This is animal leather. Yes, leather too, but not yet identified. By the way, we had a chance to give an exhibition of Buddhist manuscript in this Skoyen collection at Puttamonton in Nakhon Pathom near Bangkok from 2010 to 2011. Yes. This is opening of exhibition in Nakhon Pathom. Me and Professor Jens Brovik in Oslo. So, this is exhibition photographs. Have we been there? It's 6 years ago in Nakhon Pathom. The photo panels, like these photo panels, used in the exhibition, are now in being decorated in Wat Saket in Bangkok. This and yes, and this is an exhibition catalog. I have one copy here. And this is Wat Saketo, under the mountain. The same as exhibition panel are now decorated here. On this panel, my photograph is included. This is a small pavilion house in Wat Saket. Okay, next, during the 1990s, when the above-mentioned manuscripts were discovered in Bāmiyān, a lot of new manuscripts were also excavated in Gandhara and Gilgit. I would like to introduce a part of them. This is a scroll of beach bark in Gandhari, currently preserved in British Library in London, a commentarial literature transmitted by Dharmaguptaka School. It is written in Kharoshti script, and it was discovered in Hadda ruins in Afghanistan. A research group of Washington University in USA, headed by Professor Richard Salmon, is working on this manuscript. Next one is also Birchbark manuscript scrolls written in Gandhari, and its contents is a Mahayana Sutra expounded on the Akshobhaya Buddha. There is no Chinese correspondence. At the moment, Professor Ingo Strauss at the University of Lausanne in Switzerland is working on these scrolls geared towards its publication. Such beach bag scrolls are presently still available in the market in London. This is a close-up of this scrolls is a part of scrolls in the antiquity market in London. This is a close-up of the same one. This is a photo of the opened up scrolls. It corresponds to the Attakabagga in Stanipata in Paris. And yes, this is a photo of opened up scrolls. It corresponds to the Attakabagga. That is to say, the Gandhari version of the fourth chapter of the Stanipata in Paris. This is, with no doubt, a tremendously important materials in the field of Buddhist studies. Furthermore, this is Mirinda Paripulicha in Paris, Mirinda Panha, corresponding to the Mirinda Panha in Paris. This is a popular Mahayana Sutra, Pratyutpanna Buddha Sammukha Vasudhita Samadhi Sutra. These items are now on sale in market. If this institute and this Pratanya will buy this, you can buy this manuscript on the market. But I think price is very expensive. Same as this building, I think.
เมื่อสักครู่นี้เป็นคัมภีร์ของสุตตนิบาตเรานะครับที่เราเห็นภาพเมื่อกี้มีอยู่ไม่กี่คาถาราคาของแผ่นเมื่อกี้เท่ากับซื้อตึกได้ตึกหนึ่งก็สร้างอาคารเรียนเราได้หลังหนึ่งนะครับ
Okay, next, regarding the Gilgit manuscript, one of the most important recent discoveries would be that of the Dilga-Agama. Besides the Dilga-Agama manuscript, a manuscript of the Vaisajya bust of the Mura Sarvasti Bardins, Vinaya, has also been discovered and identified. And so, regarding the Dilga-Agama, later I'll explain. Early 1997, in order to study Mr. Martin Scoyen's collection of the Buddhist manuscripts from Bāmiyān and of Afghanistan, the project group was formed. The core members of the group consist of 5 people: Professor Jens Brorvik in Oslo, Professor Paul Harrison in Stanford, Professor Jens B. Hartmann in Munich, Dr. Lore Zander in Berlin, and me. As I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, we have already published 4 big volumes in collaboration with many other scholars. As one of the core members of research group investigating Buddhist manuscripts in the Scoyen collection, as the only one participating from Japan, it occurred to me too that there are possibly similar manuscript collections in Japan, and so I set out to find them. Over past 15 years, I was able to locate similar Buddhist manuscript fragments in 5 Japanese collections. These manuscript fragments originated mainly from Bāmiyān in Afghanistan and position from Gilgit in Pakistan. I was fortunate to receive the permission to study and publish most of these collections for our group. Among them, most important collection is last Professor Hirayama Ikuo's collection. Professor Hirayama Ikuo was a well-known Japanese painter and had many other achievements, such as President of Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador. Those of you who wish to purchase a postcard-sized painting by him are expected to pay about $50,000. This is one of his famous painting series on the Silk Road. Professor Hirayama is also well known as a collector of Gandharan Buddhist statues. He has established a private institute of Silk Road art and archaeology, and his Silk Road museum. Professor Hirayama happened to obtain these manuscripts, which come from the same region as those from the Scoyen collection, which when he came across with dealers in London and Pakistan looking for statuary. According to the one reliable source, the item in Hirayama collection were actually purchased not by Professor Hirayama but by his wife, Mrs. Michiko Hirayama. Let us now return to our main topics. The Hirayama collection is grouped into two according to their sources: the Bāmiyān Valley in Afghanistan and the Gilgit region in Pakistan. Among 2 kinds of manuscripts, one has the same origin as the Scoyen collection. They include 26 Kharoshthi fragments. and 9 Brahmi fragments. From these fragments, I will now show you an interesting sample from the Hirayama collection. This is a Karoshti fragment from an unknown commentary to the Eko Uttarika Agama, Pali Anguttara Nikaya, or Mahabhagga of Vinaya. This contains a famous phrase, Araya Arama, Araya Lata, Araya Samudita from Eko Uttarika Agama or Vinaya, quoted in famous Yogacara treatises, Mahayana Sangraha by Acharya Sangha, as evidence of the existence of the Araya Vijnana. The another folio of the same Karoshti manuscript were included in the Skoyen collection. This is a fragment of a Dharani text, a kind of Paritta text on linen or cotton fabric, probably discovered in Gilgit. The transliteration of it has already been done by one of our members, Dr. Klaus Wille, in Göttingen University, but the text itself has not been identified. Next, let us now take a look briefly at the contents of the one sample items from Hirayama collection, which I consider as very important. This is a small fragment in northwestern Gupta Brahmi script dating back to the 5th century. This is a transliteration of these fragments. And this is a colophon of the text. Recto line 2 has the chapter title, chapter 17 on the king's end. It continues saying, by a person who is an explicator of the Madhyama Agama, Majjhima Nikaya, or in the middle land, or keeper of the Vinaya. Furthermore, Recto 1, Acharya Buddha Mitra's Moksha. The first word of the title is Moksha, and the second word is assumed to be Upadesha. So I think a title, Moksha Upadesha. There are several people named Buddha Mitra in Buddhist history. Among them, the most famous figure in the Sarvastivadi philosopher who was a teacher of the Parushiva. Parushiva was a well-known Sarvastivadi compiler of the Mahavibhasha. There is no treatise by Buddha Mitra that has come down to us, other than this small fragment. A similar fragment has been published in our volume 2 of the Skoyen collection by Professor Richard Salomon, which implies that King Hubishka was a follower of the Mahayana. Two fragments in Hirayama collection and the Skoyen collection are similar in script and in line and shape. Yes. This one and this is the Hirayama collection. This is the Skoyen collection. And it is highly likely that they belong to the same text. This is general information of the Buddhist manuscript recently discovered in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Next, among these newly discovered manuscripts, I shall give you my introduction on the story how the Dilugagama manuscript, Digha Nikaya manuscript, was brought to collectors from Pakistan via London. I suppose that most researchers have not heard of this story yet. The huge Dilugagama, Digha Nikaya manuscript consists of over 400 folios. It was divided into 3 parts and sold to collectors by 2 different London dealers. I am the researcher who has first looked at the Dilugagama manuscripts when these 3 items have arrived in London. Yes. It was November 1998 when I stopped over in London after my first survey trip to the Skoyen collection in Oslo and visited. At that time, I visited London dealer Mr. Sam Hawke, who has sold a lot of Bāmiyān manuscripts to Mr. Martin Skoyen. At that time, Sam Hawke showed me a new birchbark manuscript bundles, just arrived from Pakistan via Dubai. This is Mr. Sam Hawke and arrived manuscript. The manuscript consists of 3 bundles. This time in Sam Hawke's office, I could read only the first and the last side of each bundle, but immediately suppose that this is a part of Dilgagama of the Sarvastivadi or Mura Sarvastivadi Buddhist order. These 3 bundles were sold to an American collector after my visit to Sam Hawke in London. Yes, this is 3 bundles and on birchbark bundles. Total, I think 60 or 70 folios. This is a package that arrived to London from Dubai. The second occasion I looked at another part of the same Dilgagama manuscript was 2 years later in March 2000 at another London dealer, David Aaron's place, after my same trip to Oslo. David Aaron is an Iranian person, and his father was the art advisor of Princess Pahlavi in Tehran. David and his family moved to England at the time of Iranian Revolution in 1978. This item was the biggest part of the manuscript, consisting of the 6 bundles and many fragments. This is 6 bundles and many fragments. This time, David Aaron himself could not find any collector who happened to buy this, so David Aaron has sold this item to the Sam Hawke, and then Sam Hawke has sold this item to the same American collector. I think this bundle contains over almost 200 folios and a lot of small fragments. The third occasion I looked at the third item of the same manuscript was only 4 months later in same year, 2000, also at the David Aaron's office. This item consists of 53 folios and 3 fragmentary folios in 3 bundles. 3 months later, in the same year, in October 2000, this is 3 bundles. David Aaron suddenly came to Japan with these 53 folios without any appointment and asked me to arrange a meeting with a prospective buyer in Japan. I reluctantly arranged a meeting with Mrs. Michiko Hirayama to ask if she would buy these 53 folios. As I told you, her husband, Professor Iko Hirayama, is a very famous person and a very rich person. Yeah. Yes, sorry. And Mr. and Mrs. Hirayama were also well known as a collector of Gandhara Buddhist statues. Furthermore, the remaining 3 fragmentary folios held by David Allen were brought to me, bought by my university 4 years later from this. Professor Hirayama and Mrs. Hirayama bought these 3 bundles, and another only 3 fragmentary folios bought by my university, finally. After all the sold items arrived in the collector, Professor Enzo Hartmann in Munich visited American collector, scanned all the folios in the collector's private house. I acquired all the photographs from Hirayama collection. This is the whole story about the Dirgāgama and Nikaya manuscripts I know. As you may know, the counterpart of the Dirgāgama in Pali, the Digha Nikaya consists of 33 suttas, but the Dirgāgama consists of 47 sutras divided in the 3 sections. I suppose that all the Buddhist orders in ancient India had a collection of long sutras, long discourses, called as Digha Nikaya, Dirgāgama, and so on. Previously, only 2 versions have known to us. That is Pali Digha Nikaya you are reading, and the Chinese translation of Dirgāgama. The Chinese translation of the Dirgāgama is belonging to the Dharmaguptaka Buddhist order, but not belonging to the Sarvastivādi Buddhist order. This Gilgit manuscript I showed you today, this Gilgit manuscript of the Dirgāgama in Sarvastivādin or Mula Sarvastivādins. So this is the 3rd version known to us. Now we have 3 versions of the long discourse collection in Pali, Digha Nikaya, Chinese translation of Dirgāgama, and Sanskrit version in different Buddhist orders. Among these, among 3 sections of Sanskrit Dirgāgama belonging to the Sarvastivādin or Mula Sarvastivādin, the last 3rd section, the Sila Skanda Nipata, consists of 23 sutras. Among these 23 sutras, first cited sutra in the Sila Skanda Nipata is the Tridandi Sutra, as shown in the front slide. The Tridandi Sutra has no parallel in Pali Nikaya and the Chinese translation. The Tridandi Sutra, cited as the opening sutra of the Sila Kanda section, contains the contains the definition of Trividya, 3 kinds of knowledges, and attempt to clarify the question, what is the nature of the true Brahmana who holds these 3 kinds of knowledges? The 2nd sutra, Pingala Atreya Sutra, in the Sila Skanda section, has the same main contents as the Tridandi Sutra, but its prologue and the epilogue are somewhat different. Regarding these 3 sutras, I have already presented my articles. Very short article in Japanese journal, and its Thai version is included in the volume 3 of the journal of this DCIBS center. This one. So, thank you very much. Your translation from Japan into Thai, my paper. Thank you. I say this is my Thai version. Okay. I would like to draw a short conclusion of this lecture. All the great number of Buddhist archaeological sites and Buddhist artworks have been discovered in Gandhara region, which broadly include Bāmiyān. It was the discovery of the very written Buddhist document that was long eluded. It is only recent times that large cache of written materials from Bāmiyān have been uncovered, which deserves our attention. What we can detect in these written materials in living grace of the Buddhism of ancient times, as it was transmitted at the peak of its prosperity. These discoveries of manuscripts from the three regions will provide important research materials for the contemporary Buddhist scholars and will certainly reveal to us new information and knowledge regarding the history of Buddhism. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for an eye-opening talk. Now is the golden time for us